So, do you know you can get your green card without your abusive partner? Adultery, cheating is not considered as abuse by the USCIS. Hi guys, my name is Esther Regwavoin and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great. So this video is actually for those that are living in the US and are yet to obtain a green card, and you are in an abusive marriage with a US citizen or a green card holder, and then you decided to remain in that marriage just because you want to get your green card. Of course, I would understand, because some of us are actually unaware of the options that are available to us, especially when it comes to immigration issues. For instance, you might be married to a US citizen in good faith or a green card holder, and then eventually, in the course of the marriage, you started experiencing some extreme cruelty or abuse in the marriage. It can be physical, financial, psychological, verbal, sexual abuse. I mean, some married people also experience sexual abuse. It can be one of those, type of abuses. But here I'm going to tell you that there is something called VAWA, Violence Against Women Act, that you can apply for. So if you're in an abusive marriage, you are still married to your abusive partner, or you have separated or divorced your abusive partner within 2 years, then you can apply for VAWA. So VAWA is actually a special law which allows the spouse of an abusive US citizen, either a spouse or a child, or a parent of an abusive US citizen or lawful permanent residents, to apply for green card through VAWA. So first, you are going to get approved. You're going to get your VAWA approved, and then you can apply to adjust your status, which will eventually give you your green card. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing what VAWA is, how you can apply for VAWA, what are the requirements, the documents that are needed to file this application. But before I'll dive into that, I noticed that there are some people, you know, who do not like to put in applications, especially related to immigration, themselves. They prefer to hire a lawyer to put in those applications for them. I mean, I'm not against, getting a lawyer to put in your applications, but if you are if you don't have the funds, because of course, if you want to hire a lawyer, you have to first pay for consultation fee, and then you also have to pay for the process. But if you are just staying in the US, you don't maybe have a job, you are not eligible to work, and you are having immigration issues, how are you going to fund it? You might also have restrictions on funding before you can put in those applications. And like they say, delay is dangerous. So I'm here to help. I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, I'm kind of, very, very conversant with these types of applications. I've done some myself, I've done some for some family members, and I've also, advised friends and families on some of these applications, and they've gotten approved. So I'm just going to share my own experience on how these things work, and hopefully, I'm going to share as much as I can to the best of my, knowledge, to make sure that I give the right information as much as I can. But of course, USCIS website will give you the best information you need. So everything I'm even going to share are those that I've gotten from them. If your case is straightforward, your records are clean, you don't have any criminal history, you did not violate any immigration rules, then it's very, very possible to complete the entire process yourself without needing the help of a legal representative. So if you know this is for you, or if you have a friend or family that you think would be interested in this video, please do not hesitate to share this video, because I'm all about sharing knowledge and helping out the best way I can. So In my coming videos, I'm actually going to be sharing how we can apply to most of, or if not all, if I can cover all of these applications, yourself. So now moving on to VAWA. VAWA is Violence Against Women Act. So in the title it says Violence Against Women Act. You might be thinking it's just for women. No, it's for both women and men. So there are men who also have abusive wives, or abusive partners that are women, and there are women who have abusive partners that are men. So it's applicable to both men and women. I will give an instance. Maybe you have you are a US citizen or a green card holder, and then you have a partner who is back in your home country. Let me say Nigeria, because I'm actually from Nigeria. And then you can apply for your partner in Nigeria to come into the US with a fiancé visa. Some people end up also applying to get them their green card. But if you are using the fiancé visa, for instance, and then you come in here with that visa, of course within 90 days or so you're supposed to get married, right? And then you did your court registry. Once you do that, your partner who is a US citizen or a green card holder is supposed to file, or is supposed to petition for you, so you can eventually get your green card. And along the way your partner became abusive. You couldn't really you were surprised, like things just change. And if it's somebody that has not started putting in the application, or have not put in the application for you, you might think all hope was lost. Either you decide to go back home, or if you want to remain in the US, then maybe you might think you might go out of status, because of course you came here with a visa, and there is kind of like a timeline to what you can do with it. Of course you can't even work with a fiancé visa. So that way, if you are facing abuse in that marriage, either you leave, or of course definitely the first thing is to seek for help. So one thing I would say, if you're in an abusive marriage, if you can try as much as possible to get proof, like maybe take pictures, record some of the conversations. If it's the verbal abuse, if you can try to record these conversations, that would be very, very helpful when you're applying for such applications like VAWA. And if it's physical violence, make sure you take pictures. If you go see your doctor as a result of that, or if you call the police, if you have police reports regarding any abuse that you have, or if you go for therapy sessions, or you take some medications because of depression, all this kind of proof is what you would add to this type of application. So who is eligible to apply for VAWA? The abused spouse of a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident or a green card holder is eligible to apply. The abused parents of a US citizen or green card holder, and the abused child of a US citizen or a green card holder that is above 21 are all eligible to apply for VAWA. What is the process of filing for VAWA? You need to file Form I-360, which is the petition for American widow or widower or special immigrant. So you need to file the I-360. Also, you have the option to file concurrently, that is filing I-360, the I-765, which is the employment authorization. You can also file the I-131, which is your ability to travel documents, and then the I-485, which is adjustment of status. So you can file concurrently if you're in the United States, and you must make sure that you don't have any deportation or removal proceedings before you can file concurrently. I mean, your record has to be clean. You shouldn't have any immigration issues. That way you can qualify to file concurrently. And of course you have to make sure that if you are separated or divorced, that your separation or your divorce is not over 2 years. Then you can also file concurrently. But if you know you have so many issues with your immigration status, you have criminal history, you have a lot of things going on, then maybe you might need to get a lawyer that would help you out with some of the issues that you have. But you know, if you know your status in the US is, legal, it's current, you're not facing any issues, then you can, put in this application yourself. Adultery, cheating is not considered as abuse by the USCIS. So if you are thinking of filing VAWA just because your husband or your wife cheated on you, then that is not enough reason for them to approve your case. Adultery, cheating is not considered as abuse by the USCIS. So if you are thinking of filing VAWA just because your husband or your wife cheated on you, then that is not enough reason for them to approve your case. So you need to show more than that. Maybe you can show that the cheating or the adultery that was caused by your partner actually made, maybe created damages or harmed your physical or mental health. You need to show more proof that you were harmed in the process of your partner cheating on you. But other than that, cheating is not enough reason for you to file for VAWA. So take note of that. So some of the documents that should be included in your VAWA application will depend most times on, specific details of your case. So if you first of all, I'll advise you to add a cover letter. So this cover letter will actually explain your entire application, why you are applying for VAWA, and then you write a list of the documents that you've attached to your application. So the cover letter is just, like a one-page document, just to, give a summary of what is in your application and why you are submitting this application. And then, of course, the form I-360, that is very, very important. That is the main form that you even have to fill from USCIS for your VAWA application. So form I-360 is one of the important documents that you need to attach with your application. And then you have to put in a declaration, so applicant's declaration. So this declaration is actually one of the most important documents in your packet, because this would show evidence of the abuse that you've experienced in your marriage. You know how it is when you watch a movie and then you're like, oh my god, for those that are even very emotional, they cry when they watch some certain type of movies. Or maybe you are reading a book, and then reading that book, you could even like picture the person, you could picture it in your head. Sometimes some people even cry when reading books, they feel so emotional. That is exactly how you want the USCIS officer to feel when reading your declaration. So you need to write your story in a way that it's very, very compelling, and you want to make them feel what you experience. So that's the way your letter is supposed to be. If not, it's not going to be convincing enough. A lot of people have gotten denied as a result of just putting, vague, or not just vague, just like, a rough, or, the top. I don't know the right word to use, but, like I said, make sure that your declaration is very, very detailed, and, when somebody else reads it, they would really feel your pain. Let me put it that way. When they are reading it, they will feel your pain while reading your letter. That's how well you should write your declaration. If you have proof, of course, you have to show evidence. If it's police reports, pictures of the abuse, if you have recordings, things like that. If you even have families of friends, family members of friends that have witnessed the abuse that you've experienced in your abusive partner, then they can also write a declaration for you, or an affidavit, that they also witnessed the abuse that you experienced in your marriage or while you were married. So that's also something that you can take note of. And then, of course, your marriage certificate, you have to add your marriage certificate. And your marriage, of course, you need to show proof that your marriage was done in good faith. So it's for real. The marriage was for real. If you can add pictures, trips you've made together, um, You know, if you can just show proof that, you know, there were good times. Of course, for you to marry somebody, that means you've already had, you know, good times, you've shared some good times together. If you have proof to add those good times, then make sure you add that to your application. And then again, you can also add birth certificate. So this is for the people or the applicants who have abusive parents or abusive children. You need to add birth certificates. And then you also need to show proof. If it's for your spouse, you need to show their immigration status in the US. Of course, if they are US citizens or green card holders, they need to show, if it's their passport biodata page or their naturalization certificate. You know, just prove. If it's for green card, their green card. Yeah, so those are things that you need to show, that, you know, that will show their status in the United States, or to show that they are really US citizens or green card holder. But if you don't have access to those information, you should try as much as possible. In fact, during your marriage, you should, these are things that you should know and you should have a copy of, so that just in case you have an application to make, then you can have those available for you. Another one is for you to show that you've lived with the abusive partner. So it can be a lease agreement, it can be a letter from your landlord. You know, this would also serve as a proof that you were in good faith, you know, showing proof that you lived with this abusive partner. That is another document that you need to add to your application. And then, of course, you need to show your I-94, which is your arrival and departure record. So this is for those who came in, maybe for instance, with a visit visa, that is a B1 or B2 visa. Then, you know, of course, your entry and your exit is being recorded. So you need to have those added to your application. You can get that from the, I think, I-94 website. I'll put that in the link below. And of course, if you have medical records to show proof of the abuse, maybe from your doctor, you know, you've seen doctors, or if you were depressed during the process, of course, you must have maybe met your doctor, who must have prescribed maybe some medication for you. If you have medical records, you can also add that to your application. If you have police reports, you can add that to your application as well. And if you have photographs of the injuries, that can be added to your application. So, you know, just add as much as you can, just to show proof that you were really abused in that marriage, because that would really help. In fact, they won't even go too further. Like I said before, make sure that your story, your packet, that is the document that you're attaching to your form I-360, is going to show enough proof that you were really suffering in that marriage. You faced extreme cruelty in that marriage. If it's for parents with child, if you have those types of proof too, you can also add that to your application. And another thing I would also not forget to mention, if you have joint tax statements, if you have joint bank statements, those are things that you can also add to your application. Utility bills that are addressed to you and your spouse, like I mentioned before, you can add that. You also have to show you are of good moral character. So to prove that, you need to, if you can get police clearance letters, that would be very, very helpful. If you can get letters of recommendation, if you can show that, okay, you've been filing your tax returns, that shows that you were actually, you know, of good moral character. So these are things that you can add to your application that would help you improve your chances of being approved. So now going into VAWA fees. For those that are facing abuse, or those that have abusive partners, parents, or children, you this application is actually free. There is no fee that is attached to the form I-360 for those with abusive partners, children, or parents. So the VAWA fees is free. But if you are filing concurrently, that's with the I-485, the adjustment of status, employment authorization, travel documents, and all those other documents for you to get your green card, then you need to pay the applicable fees for those applications. But if you are just filing I-360 alone, the VAWA fee is free. So the VAWA processing time takes about 18 to 24 months. So if you file in your application now, don't expect a very quick response. Sometimes you might even receive a response before the 18 months or 24 months, depending on how well you package your application. So that brings me to the conclusion of this. I'll be making a video on how to fill the VAWA form, so that way you can see what the form looks like and just have a feel of how it is to apply for VAWA. Because some people, like I said in the beginning of the video, a lot of people are scared of filing or filling all these applications themselves, either because of the fear of not filling it correctly, or the fear of being rejected. You get what I mean? So I'm going to do another video to show you what the form looks like, what it entails, and what USCIS actually requires of you to add or fill out in these forms. So I'm going to be doing that with you. So actually that brings me to the end of this video. It's just to really create awareness that you can, through VAWA, you can self-petition for your green card. You don't need your abusive spouse, your abusive parent, or your abusive child to petition for you to get a green card. As long as your status is still valid in the US, you can self-petition. You don't need to remain in that abusive relationship and keep getting abused just because of what you stand to gain at the end of the day. What if you lose your life in the process? Then what's the point? So it's better to seek help. So that brings me to the conclusion of this video. Like I mentioned earlier, VAWA actually gives you the opportunity to self-petition to apply for your green card. You don't need your abusive spouse, parent, or child to petition for you. You can do this yourself. So instead of remaining in that abusive marriage or in that abusive relationship, please seek help. Leave, and if you can leave, that's fine. If you cannot, you need to seek help, because abuse, you never tell what the end goal will be. If you are there managing or trying to wait and see if it's going to, or if your partner or your or whoever it is going to petition for you to get your green card, and you end up losing your life, what do you stand to gain? Nothing. So you've lost both. You've lost your life, you've lost your life, you've lost everything. So it's better for you to seek help. Run for your life. There is this option that is available for you to self-petition for yourself and remain in the US and eventually get your permanent residence. So like I mentioned before, VAWA is applicable to both men and women that are facing abuse in their relationship and are yet to get a green card. So guys, thank you for watching. If you know that you found this information helpful, or if you know someone, a friend, a family, please share this video to them, because a lot of people are not aware of the options that are available in cases like this. And do not forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, because that would help me grow, and that would also help the videos that I put out there to reach a wider audience. And also do not forget to hit the notification bell so that you will get notified of my new upcoming videos as they load hot and fresh. If you have any questions, or if you would like more information, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And until next time, stay charming, stay fabulous, stay healthy, and stay blessed. See you next video. Bye.